Welcome to Behind the Box. I'm Robbie Biscoff. We also have Rafael Rivera.
Hola.
And Nick Townsend. And we'll get to some other stuff in just a second. But you know what? Everywhere you look, we got some 80s sitcom reunion rumors going on, and we'll get to that in just a second. But first, we got this 4DX experience, and Raphael is going to fill me in on that. Fill us all in on that. What's up, Raphael?
So if you're not watching the movie, your experience would be like this. Whoa! Your chair moves, there's wind, there's bubbles, there's even smells. Can you imagine watching a movie and actually feeling it, like actually the rumble chair? And
I'm feeling it,
as you can see the chair, it's just pretty, I think it's pretty cool. It might be better than IMAX,
Is it 3D as well?
I don't think so.
Really?
So wait, they do the smells and the movements and everything, but
actually,
it's not 3D?
I'm sorry, it is 3D. It is
okay.
full motion, full effects. You've got water, wind, scent, and light, which is going to be, that's just cool. But I don't think I would make it a regular thing. I guess it's people's opinion. Would you change your entire movie theater experience to all this, or is it just going to be the same popularity as an IMAX? What do you guys think about that? If your movie experience is now like fully immersed and.
Well, is it only available in Korea? Because that's what that looks like.
No.
I think there are some U.S. theaters that have it,
The Koreans came up with this concept, and it has reached worldwide areas, and it's very limited in the United States currently. And they are showing movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and Into the Storm, those type of movies. So you can imagine the experience for Into the Storm, maybe
Might
some
make it
wind,
interesting.
some water. Yeah, exactly.
For that
I actually had sort of an experience with this in Orlando Studios, or Universal Studios Orlando. They had like this Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It was kind of like a ride.
I remember that.
I rode that. I rode that.
I think I remember
So
that.
like they had the rats run through and it would blow the air on
Yes,
their legs.
yes,
and
yes.
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Similar thing. I think they did. It's a brand new version of what's
Well,
already
see,
out
that
there,
was
I think.
only for the one movie, and it was specific for this. This is interesting
Right.
because they're like taking real mainstream movies and then doing their own effects. That was what I was wondering is how well does this translate throughout different movies? You're not going to go see a drama and have the chair shake when
Somebody starts crying and it starts like you get teardrops all over you and stuff.
all salty.
I think if it's like let's say if it's a war movie, right? Maybe it's Tropic Thunder, for example, and maybe you get the smell of the jungle. Maybe you get the smell of the swimming pools when they're in Hollywood, the Hollywood shots, and maybe you get the smell of the dirt and flying up or maybe the heat. I don't know if heat's
Maybe they
part
could
of it too, but
shoot rubber bullets at you or something.
no.
I think there are certain movies with certain smells I'd want to stay away from, but
That's true.
I think if it is in 3D, it'd be cool, but I would like to see him like maybe an Oculus Rift headset along with everything else, and maybe it could be a more personal experience if it's that way. But this is, I think it's pretty cool.
Now, are those movies you name, like, are they really movies that are, what are some movies that are actually using this right now?
The ones that I mentioned.
So, okay, cool.
Yeah, but I don't think they're, you're not going to get the smell of a bathroom. You're not going to get the smell of...
I hope not. And most of the time, they don't, like, really take the time out to show us the main characters, like, doing their business.
I'm sure.
Sometimes.
Unless it's on purpose for other reasons. Which
Comedy or something.
Or if it's a helicopter, you're not going to get the smell of diesel
Californication.
coming through or anything. But you know what I'm saying. It's going to be, change your experience.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a cool idea.
No.
Yeah, definitely a cool idea. But I think an even cooler idea would be to see all these guys back together again.
All the Tanner clan.
The Tanner family.
Yes.
You got it, dude.
Oh, see.
So I kind of took this one right out from under Robbie. I know he's probably a bigger fan. He's probably a bigger fan than I am.
Singing it earlier, the theme song.
Oh, he knows the whole thing.
Whatever happened to predictability?
Can you do it in Spanish?
I could fake it. No.
So yeah, the rumor is that they're getting the Full House crew back together. I guess a couple like John Stamos has some ownership in the brand, and he's one of the big proponents of pushing the show to get on. And they've got like DJ and
Dave Coulier's on board.
yeah, which is Uncle Joey, and
The Olsen twins are out, right?
they're not in it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not.
So I would like them to bring maybe one Olsen twin, like the successful one.
They're just too cool for school.
Like, because
That's
it would be
all.
weird to have both of them there, you know, because that was the whole thing, is that they were kids, so only one of them acted at the same time.
Right, but still.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know really
you
what
need,
they're
you
doing.
need at least one
now.
of them, right? You need at least one of those in there.
I mean, it'd be weird to not have Michelle, but then again, the only thing she was really there for in the past was for like the cute moments and the puns, and you know, like the little one-liner, cute, kind of things.
Right.
And now she's grown up, and they'd have to actually like have a storyline for her, like she's married with kids, or
Well, I don't know. She's
well,
not that
maybe
old.
she's not that old, but you know what? Well,
She's
hell,
got like
nowadays.
6 kids.
She changed her name. She lives in Dubai now.
She's got a beard.
Well, one of the no, I'm not gonna go there. Never mind.
Let's not go.
I'm not gonna go any further.
Also, Uncle Jesse's wife isn't signed on.
Lori
but-
Loughlin, yeah.
Lori
yeah,
Loughlin.
I
always had a crush
she made
on
some
her.
comment about like I think those TV shows should be left the way they were ended, and you know.
And part of me kind of agrees with that. Like, anytime I've seen, they've been doing these remake movies. They did like Judge Dredd and Total Recall and like stuff that I remember from my childhood.
But I think remake movies isn't a whole different subject than bringing like an original cast back together for a TV series.
It's
You
not
know
like
what I mean?
new technology is going to make it better anyway.
No, I mean, I think people who tuned in to see that family and grew up with it like I did would tune in just to see where they're all at now. And I think to me that'd be the interest. What are they all up to? What are the characters doing now?
And what spawned this idea, I think, is Girl Meets World came back. So they made Boy Meets World, and then the spinoff is Girl Meets World.
And that was like, what's her name? Topanga?
Oh yeah, the best character on
yeah.
the show. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know about y'all, but
I didn't
or
really
Eric.
watch
Eric was
Boy
pretty
Meets
good.
World that much.
Why don't they just make everything again? Just
I-
everything.
I-
Like Alf.
I think they
maybe
should just
Wonder
put them all
Years.
together. Like TGI Friday, the TV show. Like just have everybody live in one neighborhood. You know, they just kind of live across the street from each other. And it's like, hey, we all moved from completely different cities to all live together.
Hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'm gonna have to write one of the networks there. And see.
Copyright Nick Townsend. Don't.
No, that's dumb. That's dumb.
Okay.
Anyway,
But none of this is like actually truly official yet. It's
Yeah,
kind of
not
just. I mean, what John Stamos has said some stuff officially about trying to do it, and we know we've had the comments from the people who said they were on board with it, but Warner Brothers or any network at this point has failed to like say, yeah, we'll pick you up for a season and do a show or whatever. So
I could see even like the Disney Channel or somebody trying to pick it up. You know. Well, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be as good as it would be on a network.
No,
but,
yeah, I mean,
I could see them trying to cash in on that. You know.
it'd be interesting to me to see if they do it as a full series or if they do it as like a one-up movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Or
'cause-
just a mini series.
Well, see, that's what. Have you ever seen? Did you watch Growing Pains at all from the '80s? Like,
a little
I
bit.
did.
Yeah.
they did like 2 movies in the last, like I think it was like the last 10 years. That was like reunion movies of the entire cast, and like they had that. It was just one-off movie that showed where everybody was, and something happened, and they all had to have an adventure or something like that. You know, I think they did that with the Facts of Life reunion too. But I never watched Facts of Life.
But you know the song, don't you?
I'm not singing the Facts of Life. You're not gonna get me on that one. You take the good, you take the bad. You take them both, and there you have
What? I don't know.
the
What
Facts of Life. Come
I'm just
on.
kidding. I was just trying to. I was just joshing you.
And I think that's a good place to leave this subject and move on to the next one.
Yes,
and it's another reunion thing. I showed you guys this video clip from the Friends, like on Jimmy Kimmel Live. He did like this. He had Jennifer Aniston on, and he like staged this little reunion with Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, and Lisa Kudrow. And like he read some fan fiction, and he was Ross. He played Ross, and the other guys came on, and Rachel or Jennifer Aniston seemed really, really annoyed throughout the entire thing. Like, and there were a lot of people that watched the clip and thought, God, she's just rude. I can't believe she's not paying any respect to her heritage. She hates Friends. Why is she so mean to Jimmy? Well, oh, that was just so bad. And she got like a bunch of hate comments and stuff on that. I showed you guys the clip. Do you think she's acting or is she not acting?
Oh, my stance on it is, remember that time when this was a big news story a bunch of years back, but some lady like spilled coffee on herself from McDonald's and burned herself and then sued McDonald's. My point is, people are dumb. And I mean,
Thanks, viewing audience.
yeah, exactly. Hopefully you guys aren't that way.
We hope all the Behind the Box crowd has a good IQ.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't, and they just don't get the joke. I think they just didn't get the joke. You know, to me, it was pretty clear that she was acting. You know, especially where you were saying that it started off.
Pretty obvious.
It started off convincing, and then it just kind of. It was like, okay, obviously, because at the end, she's like, all right, we're leaving. And he's like,
well, yeah, by the end of it, that's all like, you know, I think she did a really good job in that beginning part, like playing it off like, oh my God, what are you doing, Jimmy? Oh my God, what are you doing, Jimmy?
But she's an actress.
Well, no, I know, but I don't, you know, I just don't think people, you know, to me, I will say until I got midway through it, I did think she wasn't acting. Like, I did think it was a big surprise. But then when she got into the middle and they sat down and they were doing the lines about the sex and stuff, I was just like, oh, come on. I'm like, you know, that's obviously, they've already staged that. Yeah. So, But he actually did a video reaction. He got so much comments and so much hate mail about that for her that he went in her defense and like did this whole clip he posted online. He talked about it on the next show where he was like, okay, guys, this was not real. This was fake. He's like, you know, you guys, it's funny. He's like, I can't, you know, but he played some of the comments back and he made fun of them and insulted the people and everything. And he said she was wonderful and she wanted to do it. And they rehearsed it 2 or 3 times and it was all very scripted. So
that's always the best, though. I mean, I think John Oliver from The Daily Show, the British correspondent or whatever, he has his own show now. And I saw something where he was just reading YouTube comments off of one of his videos. I mean, they could make a whole show off of that because YouTube comments, they just get ridiculous. Like,
who does the celebrities read mean tweets?
Oh yeah, it's Jimmy Kimmel, I think.
Does he do that?
Yeah.
I don't watch religiously, so I'm kind of like on and off with him.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, the internet gets mad about everything, you know. But I do think that's funny that they did the whole reenactment thing and brought them all together.
It would have been even better if they could have gotten Matthew Perry and Matt LeBlanc and what's his name? David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, God, that would have been awesome.
Well, they're all too busy working on all their brand new shows and movies and stuff.
Well, and most of them have pretty much said to Stan's reunion, because there's been rumors of Friends reunion for years now, and every time they all say the same thing for the most part, which is, yeah, you know, it might be fun, but we're afraid if we all got back together and did something and it was absolutely horrible, that we would be remembered for that and not for the wonderful sitcom that we put on for the many years that we put it on. So, you know, they just kind of want to leave it. I think they just want to leave it alone, and they don't want to mess with it. They just want to leave it the way it is.
Fine by me.
And I think with Friends, I'd be happy with that, because Friends had a very good run.
They went for a long time.
Very good ending.
Like 8 or 9 seasons or something?
10 seasons. 10 seasons, yeah. From 94 to 2004 it ran. So it was pretty big, but definitely some interesting stuff on Jimmy Kimmel, and we got some more interesting stuff coming up in our What We're Watching segment coming up next. Welcome back to Behind the Box. Time for our What We're Watching segment, and I'm not going to go first this time. Raphael's going to go first with The Killing.
First?
Yes, you're first.
Oh, man.
Are you prepared?
Well, slightly.
Okay.
Well, so I started watching The Killing on Netflix, and I was a little apprehensive at first, after the first episode, but then I just got hooked because the story just keeps going. Now, it's about a detective who really loves her job, and it's not one of those detective shows where there's like a dead person every episode. It's literally
Monster of the Week or whatever.
Right.
It's a serialized.
Like it's serialized, like there's one murder they're trying to solve, and it involves a mix of different people, which includes a politician, a possible dirty cop, etc., and then actually the detective's young son. And so everything just ties together, and what I really like about it is just it just keeps getting deeper into everyone's lives. And at first I was like, you know, when are they going to solve this thing? You know, is she just a bad detective, or is just the way it's kind of built? That's what just kind of just kept me going the whole thing. So I finished the first season. I'm about halfway through the second season. I'm still hooked. It's one of those binge watch kind of things. And Robbie, you've seen it, haven't you? What did you?
Yeah. That was actually my Netflix pick a couple weeks ago, wasn't it? At some point, I did The Killing, but
well, I think it deserved to be revisited. I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, now you're watching it.
Well, and I'm
watched it
glad
too.
you brought that up because I mean I actually just finished like about 2 or 3 weeks ago watching the entire like thing, including the exclusive 4th season they added to Netflix, and I will say that 6-episode season to kind of finalize the whole show was the best one out of the entire show itself. It was just unbelievable, and because it was on Netflix, there was a lot more violence, cussing. It got more R-rated in those last couple episodes, so they were able to kind of really take the new story to a different height. So I mean, it's awesome, man. Keep watching because it gets really good.
I really do like it. Like I said, the first part of it I wasn't really sold yet, but then it just got further and further, and it really isn't like a single character that stands out through the whole thing. Besides the detective, I think she could be the main person, but everyone else has a developing
I kind of like Holder too, though. Like I like Lyndon and Holder.
Joel Kinnaman?
Yeah, Joel Kinnaman.
I like him a
I think
lot,
he's
too.
good. I mean, he plays that part really well.
Because it's like you want to like him, but you don't know if you really should. It's like,
yeah.
It's kind of shady. That's why him being RoboCop was a little weird.
I like that movie. I did. That's one new movie I actually saw and I liked was the new RoboCop movie.
You know they're showing RoboCop at the library?
At the
locally?
library?
Yeah.
The old RoboCop or the new one?
I hope it's the new one. Because the first one's kind of bloody.
Yeah, the first
that's
one's
right. Yeah, I
way-
forgot about how violent. Yeah, anyways, back on the killing.
Back on the killing. So yeah, you know, it's definitely something pretty cool to binge watch one after another. And one small little note about binge watching: Netflix has the tendency to be able to skip through the intros of most television shows because you know when you binge watch, you're going to watch one after another, but then you've got to sit through the introduction, you know, little intro, whatever. And sometimes Netflix can jump right through it and actually automatic give you like a 15-second delay in between episodes, but then start the action right away, right after the
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
beginning. So if you are binge watching, sometimes you'll get lucky enough to get past the intro, you know, credit roll in the beginning.
I do like how they like just start the next episode. Like they're like, hey, you're done with this episode? We're starting the next one in 15 seconds.
And they're
Just
doing
counting down
they do the
once
preview now, kind of like what the next episode's going to be about over on the right-hand
Yeah, you
corner
can
of the
actually
screen
read.
too.
You
Yeah.
can read all the info coming up.
Because that didn't always, that just happened in like the last couple months they started doing that.
Yeah.
It seems more like a network when they do that now, because like you're getting a little bit of that squeeze with the tease action going
Yep.
on there. So,
It's
Yeah,
not by
pretty much.
accident.
but keep watching it, man. It's a really good show, and I think
Yeah,
everybody out
man.
there should watch it. And another one, I think if you have HBO or HBO Go or one of those, is Treme. Excellent show, and I had never heard of it, really, because it's not a very like highly popular or heavily like acclaimed series. Have you ever heard of it before?
I have not. No.
How about you, Nick? Have you heard of it?
Yeah, my dad actually got into watching this a lot because it's about musicians. So there's a lot of music involved in it, and he liked that a lot.
It's I mean, musicians is part of the story because what it is it follows New Orleans post Katrina. So like when we come into the first season of the show, the pilot episode, it starts out, I think it's like 6 months after Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, and it kind of visits 2 or 3 of these people who are coming back for the first time, and you know, a lot of people live in these different neighborhoods, and the name of the show comes from one of the neighborhoods in New Orleans. It's called the Treme, which is a huge musically influenced neighborhood where a lot of famous musicians grew up and played in the streets and stuff. So they kind of follow a couple of these characters, but music is a huge part of the show. And it's not, I'm not going to say it is a musical because it's not like they go walking through the streets singing numbers. But
No, you wish it was. Though,
no, I'd rather not. I like the way they do a lot of because a lot of the characters in the show are musicians. So it follows them like trying to get gigs, and then when they get a gig, instead of just showing you going to the gig, it gives you the whole band, and it's real people playing, the band's playing and everything, and most of them are really good, and it's entertaining to kind of just watch it, and it's got some people in it that you might recognize from other things. First off, John Goodman's in it, which, he played a great role in it, and Steve Zahn is in it. And you guys know who Steve Zahn is? Yeah, I mean, he does a really good job of playing like this kind of wild New Orleans disc jockey who wants to get into the music business, but doesn't really have quite what it takes, even though he keeps trying to be like the white boy that's rapping and
But
all
it's a
this.
drama, right? Because you just named kind of 2 comedic actors.
Yeah, no, it's a drama. It's definitely a drama. I mean, but it's not to say it doesn't have some like lighthearted moments in it, you know. But I think the first season is the most dramatic of them all because it's right after Katrina. So you kind of have that everybody's coming back and seeing their property, seeing that they have nothing, and trying to build their lives back together. And the musical scenes kind of interwove the transitions between the different storylines, you know. And the big thing about it is, and you know me, I'm not really a patient person to like sit through like just not really much going on for a long time. I like action, but this was one that I turned it on. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool just because of the way they tell the story and blend the music in. It's an artsy show, you know. Nothing like, there's not a whole bunch of stuff that happens every episode, you know. It's not like you get all these different things exploding in one episode, but
Dun dun.
yeah, no, well, it's nowhere near 24. I mean, it's a whole different animal than 24. I'm not even going to compare it because they're just doing different things.
Or Halt and Catch Fire.
Or Halt and Catch Fire. Well, yeah, definitely no. All right, don't get me started on that because we don't have enough time for that. But anyways, I would recommend, you know, checking it out. It's definitely, it ran for 4 seasons. It just ended on HBO in December 2013. And everything is on the demand thing if you have the HBO on demand. Or you can buy the DVDs and Blu-rays of it. So definitely a good show to watch.
Cool.
And, oh, God, here.
God, I
Now,
love
these
that.
guys keep making their way into our show.
I love that graphics. Just back up. Just put it back up.
Copied paste from last week. So
Yes.
what's this, Nick?
Tell us about it.
Well, this was Robbie's Future Focus. Was it your Future Focus?
Yes. Was it the last show? Yeah, I think it was the last show.
The unauthorized Saved by the Bell story.
Unauthorized.
So
already aired.
yeah, it was on Monday, like all night. It was just back to back to back.
Were there ratings results?
I don't know. I don't look at that kind of stuff.
I can chime in on that when you're done. So continue.
Yeah, check it out. So it came on the Lifetime network, which is not generally my network of choice unless I want to watch unsolved mysteries or something like that. But so I was a little worried that it would be a little too dramatic and try to push the romance a little too much. But it was actually not bad. But I mean, I'm also a huge fan of Saved by the Bell. Growing up, I watched it every morning. So I think that definitely gave me rose-colored glasses a bit.
When I wake up in the morning.
Wait, and the alarm gives off a warning.
Yeah, we were arguing. We were trying to figure out what that lyric was. Because
That's what it
you've
says.
always never been, you know, when I wake up in the morning, la 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 la. And it's like, what did he
I
say?
don't think I'll ever make it on time. Yeah, but and the alarm gives off a warning.
And we looked that up
we had to
while we
look
were
that up.
shooting our shows
Yeah,
earlier in the week.
in front of the
Interesting.
box.
In front of the box.
But so it is based on the book that Dustin Diamond wrote. So right in the beginning, Zach Morris does his timeout thing, and then Screech moves in. He's like, "Wait a minute, we've heard your side. This is my story. I was there. You know, this is what I remember. I was there from the first episode to the last. This is my story." And then it goes into him telling it, which I was never like, oh man, I wish Screech would tell the story. I never had that urge, so it was a little weird and a little focused too much on him. But it was cool to see some of the behind the scenes stuff, and it was well produced, like it was well shot. And
I heard were there a lot of songs in it? Was it a lot of music, or was it just like...
yeah, I guess there was, but I mean, I'm not real
They
big
kept
into
using
that.
Poison like in all the previews from Belle Biv DeVoe. So I was like,
Yeah, they definitely use that, and they have these cool like graphics, like it'd be like 1992, and it was like all this kind of 90s style
okay.
text, real big over like each year that they would go through. And they started with "Good Morning, Miss Bliss," and then went all the way through. They ended actually before the college years, so they had their fake graduation thing, which was like just them in the classroom. And then Screech does his timeout and says, "Hey, we all went on to do other things. You know, she did Showgirls. He's Mark Paul Gosselaar is actually a successful actor now, and like, and I did my own thing." They like didn't really go into what Dustin Diamond did.
Of course not.
After
Must be
that.
no order.
But I mean, I enjoyed it. It was definitely fan service. I don't think if you weren't a fan of the show, you're probably not going to go back and watch it. But I definitely.
I want to, but I completely forgot that it was on, even though that was my future focus.
Actually, a lot of people forgot that it was on because, for what I hear, the ratings weren't really that good. At 1.6 million viewers for that 9 p.m. block for that whole movie, compared to Lindsay Lohan's Liz and Dick, which 3.6 million viewers.
Oh my god!
So comparatively, the ratings were really that great, but. I think maybe they didn't advertise enough, or maybe they need to play it again, or
It will. It'll come on this weekend.
or bring it on again, because.
And I will try to watch it again this time.
But the whole time they had promos running for the Brittany Murphy story, so if you're waiting on that one,
Oh.
that one's coming up pretty quick.
And I don't
see
think
that
any of us are waiting on that one right now. So.
No.
But you guys stay with us because we got our Netflix picks coming up next. Welcome back to Behind the Box. Time for our Netflix picks, and I believe I have the first pick, so I get to go first this block. The Office. Now, you guys have all seen The Office,
I've never
right?
seen this.
Oh, come on.
Is this a new show, or
Seen a few episodes.
it's just come out?
A few, really?
A few. I watched a lot of the British version before this came out.
Oh, really? Not a big fan of the British version.
What's the original?
But I'm still not a big fan of it.
You're not British.
Exactly. I don't like the humor.
I own all of this on DVD and Blu-ray. This is definitely one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show ever.
I own them all
excellent.
too. Yeah, it's really, really good, and it's good in every angle. I mean, it's comedic, make you laugh. The characters are great. I mean, the different characterization is really good. But one thing you don't usually get in a comedy like this are really good storylines, like arcs that kind of, and me and my serialized storyline, so, this thing, I think if you watch the first season, which is only 5 or 6 episodes, bear with it. Because, I mean, that first season, for some reason, it just did not know where it was going at that
Well,
point.
it kind of went off of the humor of the other
Of the
Office.
British version,
It was very
yeah.
dry, just very, I wouldn't say dull, but just kind of
I feel like it's full of awkward moments.
very awkward.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, especially with Steve Carell's character. I mean,
Uncomfortably
he creates
Yeah.
all the uncomfortable moments. In fact, the entire show, especially in the beginning, is basically their reaction to him constantly. He's like the guy that's just doing all this stupid stuff. And
Well, a bunch of them weren't even actors.
yeah,
Like a bunch
they're
of the
real
cast.
life. Yeah, I mean, because they use a lot of the real names are used in the show and
Actually, I
stuff.
think all the people you have there are real actors.
Those are the actors, yeah. But like
But
the
everyone
Office, the
else-
other Office people, and it's
Yeah.
like Creed. Do you know he used to be in like a band in the '60s? And it's like they had
Was
like
it called
hits.
Creed?
No, it was. Oh my God. Oh, I can't believe I forgot what the name of the band is. But they had a bunch of hits, like that "Live for Today," "Sha la 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 la," "Live for Today." You ever heard that song before? Or-
I have.
Want to sing more of it? or-
no, I'm
we'll
not singing
come
any
back
more
to
of
it.
that one. But they had like 3 or 4 big hits, and he was like a guitar player in that band. I never knew that
That's
until I
funny.
looked it up online. But
But I mean, some of those, they're some of the best characters, like Stanley and.
yeah,
Phyllis and-
Stanley,
Wow.
you gotta be kidding me, or did I stutter? And people who haven't watched The Office have no idea what we're talking
Yes.
about. But
But you were talking about the little spin-off, little micro stories or whatever, like
Yeah,
the Michael Scott Paper Company.
yeah, oh, that was great when he started his own company. And they do these story arcs. I mean, obviously the first one is between Jim and Pam, their love story kind of a thing. The cruise episode, there's an episode where they all go on this like cruise to like it's like a gambling thing, I think, or whatever.
It was
and
like a party boat.
it was a party,
thing.
yeah, a party boat, and that just developed this arc that was just like, okay, this is awesome, so I'm going to watch the next one to see what happens. And then they just kind of, throughout the rest of the show, they had that, they would leave you hanging on something and you'd come back and finish the story of the next episode. It wasn't like they go do something crazy here and then that's the end of that story. And
I need to go back and watch this again.
I think I'm going to too. It's really good. Are you going to give it a try, Raphael?
I think I might give it a try again.
I mean, just skip past the first season. You don't have to watch it for any particular
Well,
reason.
If
I
he
mean,
likes the
British version,
one,
you
yeah,
might
I
like the
that
first
version.
season. Yeah, I mean,
Is that the episode? You said you've seen a couple episodes.
I think I've just seen the first
Just
season.
random. Oh, okay.
Not random.
Well,
but more like the first season.
It changes dramatically in the second season. It brings more of the characters in. It's a little bit warmer. little bit more Americanized.
And that's when they start to serialize storylines and everything for the show. And, you know, they only get better. They have a lot of guest stars that come in throughout the season.
Now, once Michael Scott, Steve Carell left, I kind of stopped watching. I heard it's still good.
It is good. It is, because I did continue it. And the 8th and 9th seasons, I feel the 8th was like its weakest point. I just feel like they were in this like rut of, okay, what do we do without him now? And they brought in David, what was his name?
California or something
I
like
can't remember
that.
what his name is. Something Spader was his last name. But they brought in him to kind of fill the role of Steve Carell. And by that point, Ed Helms was carrying the show anyways, and he's pretty good. But
Which he was actually added later on.
yeah, he was added in like the 3rd season, I think, when they did the 2 offices. But even at that point, that was kind of a weak season. But the 9th, when they kind of decided this is our last season, you know, we're going to do this, we're going to do it right kind of thing, it was awesome. They really did a great storyline. So
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll watch the 8th and 9th season. Because I kind of stopped in the 8th season.
And I will say that season 7 is not the last time you see Michael Scott
Well,
in the series run.
Thanks for giving it away.
You jerk. Well, that might give you something to look forward to.
that's true,
you know,
that's true.
you're gonna have another Michael Scott appearance.
As long
at
as
some
there's
point.
more of the Pam and Jim love story, that's really what I watch.
That goes really out of control in the last couple of seasons. They do some way. There's
I
some.
was just kidding. That's not really what I
Yeah,
watch.
yeah. Their love story gets kind of bad toward the end. So, anyways, we got to move on from that now. The Office on that. It's great. Watch it.
It is on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
That's because it's your Netflix.
It's Netflix pick.
Well, you like stopped yourself. From
I
saying
forgot there for a second. I thought we were doing what we're watching again, and that
you
just
should
took up
watch
20
it.
more seconds. So let's go ahead and move on to When We Left Earth.
Yeah, that's me. So this is a really awesome mini-series that Discovery Channel put together. It's When We Left Earth, the NASA missions. So it starts off. Have you guys seen The Right Stuff?
Yes.
Hey, awesome. I expected you
No.
to see it and not you to see it. Good.
Oh, I'm a space nut. Of
Yeah,
course
you're
I'm
right,
going to
right.
have watched The Right
So
Stuff.
The Right Stuff is the fictional drama movie about the very beginnings of the space program, the test pilots, Chuck Yeager,
yeah.
and those guys that really started the whole program. And this starts kind of right after that. So it picks up, it's like John Glenn orbiting,
The Mercury.
right, and then the
Missions,
Mercury Project,
yeah.
and then through Apollo, and then through into the space shuttle. And that's kind of where they shut it off. But it's very well done. It's narrated by Gary Sinise.
Oh, wow, okay.
So he has a big involvement with the military, I know, just like personally he does. But I guess he also is into NASA and stuff. I don't know. But it's really good.
Well, he was in Apollo 13,
Ah,
so I think
that's
they
what
kind
it
of picked
is.
that connection. His voice might come
See,
through
they
for
could have
this.
used Tom Hanks too, though.
Yeah, that's true.
He
That's
might have
true.
been
They
working a little
could've,
bit more than Gary
you know.
Sinise.
Have you seen From Earth to the Moon?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no, see, that's something you need to watch, because if you're a space nut, that's like a movie version of this.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
Tom Hanks produced like 13 episodes. It's like a miniseries.
awesome. I see.
HBO, check that out. But anyways,
But anyways, so all this footage was shot in 35mm film. So it's all HD now. They converted it because, 35 is better quality than HD. So they converted it so it looks really, really good. And it's all these scenes from, guys doing math on a piece of paper, but it's in HD. So it's presented very well. And it's just a great series. I mean, I've watched it so many times. I just kind of turn it on if I want to watch something. So you should definitely check it out. Have you watched it?
I've watched a long time ago. I watched like one episode, or because I'm really into that stuff, but for some reason I just didn't continue it. Like I don't know.
Well, you're not
why.
big into documentaries, right?
Yes, I am. When it comes to stuff like that, yes,
Oh, okay.
I am. I'm really open to that. I love documentaries.
Well, you should check it out because it's. I mean, I think it's about 13 episodes, something like that. It's just a mini series. They didn't try to continue it or anything. I mean, there's only so many stories that you can tell, and it's interesting and a lot of stuff I didn't know about, like the Space Lab and all that. Do you know about the Space Lab? They took part of the Saturn V rocket and made it into basically a space station before there was an actual space station, and all these repair missions, and they have interviews with all the crew. And the astronauts, so you get both perspectives.
Do they cover the Challenger and
They do.
the Columbia explosion? Or well, yeah, I mean, they both had their, one was going up and one was coming back. But
Yeah, they definitely cover the tragedies, and there was also
the Apollo 1 fire.
right
Yeah.
the fire. Yeah, so they talk about that as well. So you are a space nut, aren't you?
Oh man, I am. You could ask
But
me.
have you been to space camp?
No, but I have been to the Space Center in Florida probably like 5 or 6 times now.
You've been to Space Mountain?
No, I haven't actually. I went to Disney World, but I was afraid to get on Space Mountain.
Oh no,
So-
sir.
Is this like last year?
No,
But
like,
you know they
no.
have they have adult space camp. You know.
I probably couldn't afford it. I don't make any money, so
You should all go.
I don't think any of us could
I'm
afford
not
it at
gonna
this
go.
point.
Adult space camp.
No, I'm not gonna go. I'll just go jump on a jump castle or something like that. It's not the same thing, right? They put you in that gyro thing that
Yeah,
like
yeah.
spins you
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
All
the
right,
only
so let's go to
This
this
thing.
now. What
This
is this?
This is your pick?
Yeah. Attack on Titan.
This is a crazy show.
Well, just a quick overview. It's a apocalyptic kind of world, but the entire population is behind a wall because they keep getting attacked by giants, and they have no clue where they come from. And these giants they're not even anatomically, they can't even digest their food, they have no sex organs, they just come in and attack the people and scoop them up and eat them.
But they look like giant people, kind of.
Right, they look like,
Strange
they
looking.
look like a
giant
bunch of schlocks. I don't know, some of them are just,
Could you define that for me, please?
just, like, just really dumb looking and yeah, exactly. They look just like that. They got a bunch of
people. What was
teeth.
that again? I missed that.
All right. Anyways, moving on.
So it's about a group of young kids who had these tragedies. One in particular, his mom got eaten by one of these, and he wants to become part of the military. And there's 2 divisions of the military. There's the police, and then there's the guard, and there's 3 divisions, excuse me. And the 3rd division are the group that actually leaves the cities into past the walls to
They're like the Rangers or something.
Rangers,
Like
kind of like that, and they go out and try to protect the town and do some research and all that. But a lot of times they come back with half the numbers because they get attacked, and I mean it's pretty rough out there, and I mean it's just a relentless attack. And sometimes a couple of instances, these giants, like they come from different sizes too, and they call them colossal giants, and they just appear out of nowhere, and they bust through that wall a couple of times. Just a small spoiler there, but they just appear and then bust hole in this huge wall that's been there for 100 years. They've had 100 years of peace, and then suddenly the giants appear and bust through the wall, and they're running through, and they're just picking people up, and it's some brutal stuff here.
Take a breath, dude.
This is like the first episode, though. Because
mean-
I actually watched a little bit of this.
I mean,
But it's like the first episode
Yeah.
where that giant one comes in.
pretty much, and it does happen again. And the story alone, I don't know if did you watch it in Japanese, or did you watch it with? Did you watch it in Japanese?
It hadn't been dubbed.
It's
Is it
airing
dubbed
on.
now?
It's actually airing on Adult Swim, and Cartoon
Comedy
Network.
Central. Oh, Cartoon Network.
Cartoon
yeah.
Network, and it's dubbed in English.
But it's on Netflix in
Right,
Japanese.
it's in
with
Japanese
subtitles.
on subtitles, and I feel like it's okay. I watched a little bit of it after I finished the entire show. I watched a little bit of it on Adult Swim, and it just didn't really have the same effect as it did when it's in Japanese, because you can really feel the emotions, because it's meant to be in Japanese. You can really
Right.
feel the emotions and the different characters, and there's a lot of death, so much death.
What about that crazy like skyhook system where they have like the Ranger things? They have like these hooks that they shoot up in the trees, and then
Yeah,
they can,
it's like this
slide around.
anti-gravity 3D motion unit, and they're all walking around with these clanky little boxes that that it's gas powered. The technology is kind of, I don't know how you would.
Made up, I think is the word that you're looking for.
Well, not made up, but the era of the technology is still kind of really old, but
It's almost like that 70s future tech kind of aliens
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. Thanks, you're right. But it's pretty cool, and they train you how to use them and all that stuff, and you can either balance yourself, and you're pretty much flying through the town and through the trees and all this stuff, and it's gas powered, and if you run out of gas, you're pretty much dead.
But the reason they have that is because they can only kill them by like cutting the back of their neck or something like that, right?
Yeah, the nape of the neck right here. That's the only way to put them down. And they encounter a couple of titans that are really smart, and they're covering themselves
Or
up.
a turtleneck or something.
Well, they actually cover themselves up. I mean, they regenerate everything. You can cut off their arms and cut off the legs, and they'll just grow right back. Or you can blow their freaking head off, and it'll grow right back. But if you don't get the nape of the neck, if you don't get the nape of the neck, you're
My
you're
head
food.
doesn't grow back.
You're total food.
And don't try anything.
It's like on Men in Black when he shoots the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Back up.
Classic.
Well, I don't know if I'd watch the Japanese version. I don't know if I have the patience to do that, but I'd probably watch the one on Adult Swim that's dubbed at least, maybe. So.
It's crazy. I mean, it's worth a look.
When did you
Yeah,
watch
it's pretty
it?
violent.
A while back.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I watched it a few weeks ago. I wanted to finish the whole thing before I mentioned it, and I kind of kept it back there just to bring
Cool.
it back up. But it's really cool. The action's intense. The characters are really cool. Once you think they're dead, there's no way they come back, and they actually do. A couple of them, and when people die, they die. I mean, it's brutal.
I think it'd be cool to see this as like a live action movie or something.
I could see that.
It'd be cool.
Be pretty intense, I think, if they bring in the same kind of drama. But I
Definitely
think
check
it's pretty
it out.
cool. You
then.
should definitely check it out. There is an ending. I think it's one season. And the episodes are about a half hour.
Cool.
So
Sweet.
probably check it out. If you're into some violent, giant eating humans and
Maybe for me. I'm not sure.
blood and
But I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would like
screaming
to.
and-
But before you do that, check out our Future Focus segment coming up next.
I mean, they just.
Welcome back to our final segment, Future Focus, and Nick's focusing on something first, Dracula Untold.
Yeah, Dracula Untold. So you guys into Dracula and stuff?
A little bit, maybe.
A little bit.
A little bit maybe?
A little bit.
Blood sucking action.
I don't really get into horror movies, but this looks kind of cool. It's like kind of an action war movie based on the Dracula lore, like kind of the origin of Dracula. It's called Dracula Untold, so it's kind of the untold story of his origin and like why he chose to become Dracula, kind of for his family and to protect his people. And then there's a big, I mean, in the trailer you see there's a big scene where he attacks this huge army with all the bats and everything and flies down over them and just takes out all these dudes. So it looks really cool. It's kind of in this medieval times, not like the restaurant, but like, with shields and swords and that kind of a thing. But it's got Luke Evans, who was the villain from Fast and Furious 6.
Haven't made it to that one yet. I know.
What are you on, like 3 Fast?
I watched the fourth one, I think, and that
Oh.
was the last one I watched.
Oh yeah,
So I
you're
got the
right, because
fourth-
I
I got
telling
the
you
fifth and the
the
sixth.
5th and the 6th, when they bring The Rock in, things start getting real
I'm only
good.
on the second Fast. And,
Too Fast?
yeah,
Too
Too
Fast.
Fast.
Too
Too
Fast,
Furious?
Too Furious.
What about 3 Fast and 3 Furious?
I actually skipped the third one. I didn't watch the third
Yep,
one.
you can skip the
Oh.
third one. That one's Tokyo Drift. That one's a whole different. But now we're talking about Fast and Furious,
Dracula.
which is probably going to be much better. They're eventually coming out with another Fast and Furious movie. Just go see that if you don't
With
wanna see
Dracula in it. He'll be driving one of the cars. So,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Now, well, he was a villain, so it's kind of cool to see him on the other side still playing a traditional villain, but this time he's sort of the anti-hero. He's going to be the good guy in this. We'll see how he does. I don't know. He wasn't my favorite character in Fast 6, so I don't know. It might be interesting. We'll
Are you
see.
guys ready to get freaky?
I have yet to catch this show, but I have family members who love this show.
It is a great show.
I
but
heard it's really
It's
good.
really weird. And this season, I can even imagine that it's going to be like super weird.
It's called
Especially
Freak Show.
Freak show. I mean, it's going to be the epitome of like what this show is. And I don't know if you guys have. Well, you said you've kind of heard of it a little bit,
Yeah, I
but
haven't watched it.
it's like an anthology series. Like it kind of just each season does its own story. And when that's over with, they do a brand new story in a brand new setting the next year. But they bring a lot of the same actors back that played, in those early ones to play different characters in the new ones. So it's like they keep the same actors, they maybe add new ones. But the first season was about a haunted house. The second season was about like an insane asylum, like a Catholic thing, a church thing that was being run by these nuns. Third season was the weirdest I had seen so far. It was about a bunch of witches called Coven. And now Freak Show is coming out in October, and I'm looking forward to this, but scared to death of it. So it's like I don't quite know, because the last one got so freaky that I was kind of like freaked out myself at the last season. So we have this one to look forward to.
Well, it's interesting. They've kind of got the circus tent thing going there.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Up at the circus
Well,
tent.
this takes place in the 1950s. And
okay.
it's basically a freak show from back then. I think it's 1952. And they added Michael Chiklis, or Chiklis, I can never...
Chiklis.
Is it Chiklis?
See.
From The Shield. He's playing strongman in this. And so he's going to be like the stereotypical strongman. Jessica Lange is in it she's been in all the seasons. Kathy Bates is coming back, and they're going to have the two-headed woman and all these, but they're going to be characters. So you're going to like follow these people.
Who's playing the two-headed woman?
Oh, she's been in all the other seasons, but I can't remember her name.
That's what she's busy doing.
The Olsen twins are doing that.
There's your Full House reunion right there. But anyways, it's a great show. I'm looking forward to it. Check it out, American Horror Story Freak Show. Premieres in October on FX. It's a great, great show.
Just in time for Halloween.
Just in time for Halloween. Now, here's another one that you could easily watch for Halloween.
Indeed. It's got Halloween colors.
True. I mean, we were just talking about, we didn't really notice too much of a blip on the first Monsters movie, but I think the second one definitely has a storyline that looks interesting. Basically, soldiers are sent to save another set of soldiers in this world where these monsters come down. I mean, there's some massive monsters out there, and I'll post the links later on of the trailer itself. But if you're a fan of science fiction and big monsters just destroying crap, this is definitely
I saw the trailer. It looks like something I'd like to watch. So.
It kind of reminds me, looks like Jarhead mixed with Pacific Rim kind of a thing.
And a little bit of District 9 thrown in there for good measure.
So, yeah, you're right. It comes out in November, and the only thing I really didn't like about the trailer is that I noticed that when they're shooting these massive monsters with just some small guns, I'm hoping that they have some better artillery. But I mean, think about it. If you got a big monster, you got to make sure you got a big gun. Right?
Well, maybe not. Maybe it's different in that world, or maybe the future is different. Or because don't forget, Men in Black.
Got super bullets or something.
Super bullets.
Yeah, remember Men in Black? He had the cricket, like the little small gun. It was
noisy
like this
noisy
big.
cricket.
The noisy cricket, and he's like, "Watch out for that, son!" He blows the thing up with it.
And he goes flying into the car.
Sorry, back to your thing.
so yeah, I might see it, or I might wait till it releases in November and seeing how it goes, and might end up on Netflix again.
Might be a good 4DX experience. Maybe.
Might be. Maybe we'll smell some sweaty alien monsters.
I was wondering where you
I thought
were
you were
going.
gonna go with the soldiers.
Like, that's kind of weird, but all
What
right.
would that smell like? Sweaty alien monsters.
I can guarantee you, nobody will want to have smell with Behind the Box right now.
I smell good, man. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Well,
Right
I try. I mean, I have deodorant, cologne,
now.
everything.
So now
but
you guys
it's like
know why we put Robbie over on that
it's
side.
100 degrees in here today.
Yeah, we have a fan just blowing the stench that way. So
Yeah. So anyways,
No,
monsters.
come on, I don't stink. Now, don't tell all the
All
viewers
right,
out there
all
that I
right.
stink, because I don't. I'm very,
not that bad.
very, and I would like you to tell the viewers about where they can find us online,
Yeah, so
if they haven't already.
on the internet is where you can find us. We're on all of the internet. Where am I? Over here? So, yeah, all the internets, which includes Facebook, it includes YouTube's, and the Twitter sphere, I think is what they
Twitter
call it.
sphere.
So everything's Behind the Box TV. So just search that in Google. I think we've got enough up now where you
Oh
can
yeah,
just search
definitely got a lot of content.
Behind the Box TV. Just Google it and find us. You can Facebook us, like us on Facebook, comment on our videos, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Twitter. Anything else? Send us emails, or if you want to send us a box full of potato chips or something, that's cool too.
Hopefully not poison.
Yeah.
Or dirty laundry.
What? Don't send us dirty laundry. I'm gonna send you my dirty laundry.
All right. Well, and on that note, I'd like to give special thanks too for Jay Burgess, the production warehouse, for giving us the studio space here, and Donald Smith, Lucky Dog Television Productions, for giving us the equipment.
And
who else am I forgetting?
Thank us, man. We're here for you.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Robbie, for being here.
What the hell was that?
Thanks, Nick.
We just wanted to
being
keep
here.
it going.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Robbie.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for watching us.
Let's not,
that's
close
awful.
it like that. Yeah.
All right, seriously, thanks for watching us, guys. That's it for episode 8. We'll see you in a couple more weeks for episode 9. Until then, later.
Space herpes.
Not again.